Oh yeah.
We are live.
Live and in this thing.
Good time is live. We live at nighttime. We are live at nighttime. Nighttime live. Ooh.
Came through the phone right whenever I opened my phone. It had you singing it.
Oh.
Let's see.
Hello, Get Nerdy. We are Get Nerdy. Hello, fans. What is your nighttime? Nerd time. Fantasies. What's your nerd time fantasies? What is your nighttime? Nerd time. Fantasies. What's your nerd time fantasies? What is your nighttime? Nerd time. I ain't talking to you, Tigger. Talking to the fans.
Oh.
I ain't talking to you, Tigger. Talk to the fans. I ain't talking to you, Tigger. Talk to the fans. I ain't talking to you, Tigger.
This is crazy right now. And I muted y'all for a second. But if you're looking at the screen, Ray. It's nuts. Alright. Now y'all can unmute. Because I had to pull up in order to put the link into the Facebook, like I had to copy paste, I had to go into Facebook, go into the live stream and post it into the chat thing. Let me just pull it up.
I'm unmuted.
My phone. Ba-bing. Alright. There's that. Okay. That is not what it's supposed to be on right now. Let's go ahead and put that back. Okay. Welcome back to the show. Welcome to Nerdmation. We are live. Welcome to this Nerdmation Nation. What is this doing this?
Shout out my brother-in-law in the building. Kubi is watching.
Kuya! Gorilla monkeys.
What?
It's an inside joke. You wouldn't understand.
Oh.
Shh.
Wherever. You and your inside jokes.
Anyway, welcome back. I'm your host, Snake, with my co-hosts here.
I'm Mingo D.
Wow, Ray.
And I'm the Hammer.
I think you did that on purpose now. Like, I'm just gonna pause.
I'm sorry. I am the Hammer. I'm giving him a hard time.
Yeah. Just a hard time. Mm-hmm. All right.
Stupid.
Whatever.
Just run the show.
That's what you want to do.
Damn it. Shut up. Oh my God. Just run the show.
All right. So, if you haven't noticed, if you're looking at in the chat, like I did include our link to, if you want to be on the show with us, you can request to join the link. It will put you into a waiting room, and we can pull you in, and you can be on screen with us, or you can just do your audio only. But it's up to you if you would like to join in on the show or not. Because we would like to have people coming in and actually talk about these. I got some great things to talk about. I'm gonna go ahead and start it off. And if you don't want to join, you can still comment in the messages. But if you are watching, go ahead and remember, hit that like button and share to let everybody else know, hey, come watch this because this is dope. So, all right. First off, I'm going to talk about is if you're an old head like us, you might remember this show. You know, I mean, it debuted 1986. You know, what is going on with Ray? He's all frozen and frozen faced. Anyway, there he is. He's back.
Yeah, I got frozen face, but I can still hear you.
Anyway, so the classics 80s cartoon Silverhawks is getting revival. So they're bringing it back. And it's kind of ironic that it's coming out right after He-Man. You know what I'm saying? He-Man remastered, which He-Man has been remastered quite a few times. So, same with Thundercats and like most of the ones from back then. So,
Thunder.
This one, Silverhawks did it came around the same time as Thundercats. So, Thundercats did steal the thunder on that one. He said it. Anyway, so
he's back.
That's actually going to be pretty cool. I watched some episodes. I was at the time I was young. I just saw flashy stuff. So I would like for it to come back. That'd be pretty cool. That way I can see how they bring it back at the same time.
I think most any retro cartoon will be okay as long as they don't screw it up.
And Daniel is on the line. Should bring Daniel in.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1.
3, 2, 1. Bring him in the show. Do the thing.
Daniel!
Yeah, with the dew. With the dew on the screen. I should have known there was going to be some.
Oh, wait, what is that one?
Be some craziness.
Wait a minute.
I should have known.
Oh, you're muted.
These are all the new ones that debuted this year. We got the Major Villain, we got the Baja.
Yeah, I've had the two right behind you, those two Baja.
Yeah.
I haven't seen these two over here to the left, though. Those
the
are sexy.
Brew doesn't come out until the Batman movie comes out later in Halloween time. And Snapped is for Christmas time. It's like a ginger. Like a ginger. Like a gingerman snap.
I still need to try the melon one.
Nice.
Melon.
Yeah,
I love Mountain Dew, by the way.
But what I do is I take it up another level. I add the watermelon Red Bull plus the Baja plus the Major Melon together. And it's just like the best.
Have you ever had the Baja Blast with some Hypnotic?
Oh,
it is amazing. So we were just talking about we just started it off. I was talking about the classics 80s getting a revival as the Silverhawks.
All right.
They're coming back. So basically, it's the producers that from Netflix, the Toys That Made Us. They're actually the ones that are in process of reviving it. So they still haven't released anything about a date yet, targeted premiere date or anything. So that's still, but that is pretty cool that they're going to be bringing it So I'm interested to see what they do, like if they change anything or what the graphics are gonna look like.
So they're redoing the cartoon, they're bringing it up. So
yeah.
it'll be interesting because I'd like the Toys That Made Us show that they did. I saw like the Power Rangers, Ninja Turtles, and all that stuff. It was really nice to see like the background of all that.
Oh yeah, man,
our childhood was just marketing propaganda,
right?
Just to sell. I was like, no, this show means something to me.
It literally is all marketing. Like when you actually look back and they tell you about everything, it was literally like they just needed a new character just to sell stuff. Like sales are dropping, we need a new character. Like make one.
I'd be like, Mom, my friend Josh Hopper, he has both the Megazord and the Dragon Zord, so his mom loves him more.
Yeah. Sticking with the cartoons, we're moving on. If you are a fan of Rick and Morty, I don't know if you've seen the latest Rick and Morty that came out. They had a planet, Captain Planet.
Okay, they're doing a rip on Captain.
Yeah, like a little.
Hey Morty, they're talking about us on the show, Morty. They're talking. I know, Rick. I can hear it too. I'm watching the stream too. Shut up, Morty. Just listen. They're talking about it right now. Like they talk about the Cat Planet and I was on there and you was. I know, Rick. I know. I'm listening.
All right. It was the Captain. The Captain. It wasn't. They references as Planet Tina is the Captain Planet reference, and it's a woman version. The thing is, like, she gets this relationship with Morty in the thing, and then Morty ends up killing like all the Planeteer people, like all the Planeteers like turn into these marketing people, and like it was entirely like marketing her as like to clean up stuff. Like they didn't care about anything else. They weren't even using their rings. It's actually a pretty funny episode. So season 5, episode 3. So, but the funny thing is like she does turn evil, like the whole evil thing, and starts killing everybody and all that. But she is still not, even though it was on Rick and Morty, the most twisted Captain Planet of all. That title still goes to Don Cheadle.
Serious.
Like literally, there was they even referenced.
That was like a Funny or Die skit, right?
Say it again.
Yeah, it was like a Funny or Die skit. Was like that Don Cheadle did.
It's crazy. Yeah, they had this. They actually had quite a few skits that they did, and the reason they still give that title to him is like that they mainly reference the part where he killed Mati and ripped his heart out and turned it into a fruit and ate it. So yeah, he's stuck that level.
Exactly.
But yeah, if y'all want to check that out, go. It should be out now. I haven't watched it yet. I've been just watching clips of it, but I want to go watch it. I'll probably go watch it right after we get off here. And then, if you're watching the live stream, you'll see the Don Cheadle on the screen of where he did that, and that's a funny thing to go look up on YouTube too. Moving on, sticking with the cartoon aspect, The Simpsons had it's Marvel crossover, pretty much, and it's the Good, the Bart, and the Loki. It's a Springfield Snap. So basically,
I did watch this. It was well done.
You did watch it?
Yeah, I saw it. Was they really condensed down the silliness of basically they send down
all the
Loki
movies.
and then they do like the full Avengers thing. You know, you got the Barney who's always drunk as Iron Man and stuff.
Yeah,
so it just works out perfect the way they brought it out.
Yeah, I see on the like some of the screenshots of it, like Lisa's Thor. I guess so. Was Bart the one that was supposed to be Loki?
Yeah, so Loki kind of switches with Bart and takes his place, and like Homer doesn't even notice that.
So who was
Jimmy
Homer? What? Who'd Homer?
Homer.
Just Homer?
Yeah, for the most part. They redrew him some of different things, different times, but for the most part, it was just Loki was just like trying to hide as Bart.
Like
pretty much the same guy.
The neighbor is Ant-Man. The guy with the no arm. I can't remember his name. He's like he always smoking cigarettes, and he's Captain America. Like it's just looking at was that Mo? Is Vision?
What? What?
Oh, that's hilarious.
The whole thing is like 6 or 7 minutes long, so a lot of the Easter eggs in there are like quick. It's like you just barely, it's like a frame or two, but it's still funny.
Yeah, it says on here that they had about 100 Marvel Easter eggs. Like,
yeah,
that's crazy.
It's packed.
I wanted to go watch this. Dang it, man! I ran across it. I was like, what? Like I know the Simpsons are always known for doing all these crossovers, and everything. Like they've done Star Wars, they've done. I mean, you name it, Simpsons have done it. So
with Disney owning everything, they're like, well, let's use it. We own Simpsons, well, Marvel, we own Star Wars.
Might as well.
All these crossovers.
One thing that they did say about this was because
why not crossover?
The end credit, I guess, of this one, they had like it went back to the whole, basically the Loki TV show. That basically he was standing trial in front of the judge and everything, just like from the show. But it was all still Simpson version. So
yeah, it's very self-referential. So it puts fun out of itself, even though it's still got another episode out before the finale. But yeah, it's Loki in front of the Time Variance Authority doing like a little shtick thing. And it's just they just make fun of themselves. So which is very much like a end thing, especially with Loki being so meta, because it self-references like all the other comics. Because there's like the last episode, there was like 30 different Lokis you saw just in a one fight scene. And then, it's just funny how they're really doubling down on this whole Loki, Tom Hiddleston thing, just bringing in even other brands like The Simpsons and getting more out of the content. And it's really great as a viewer, I feel, because you really get a lot of like just fun and laughter out of it.
I do want to talk more about the Loki show, Mingo. Hopefully, on your show Monday we can go over that. Huh? Just saying, putting that out there. Maybe we can talk about that. All right. So now that we're gonna segue from with keeping the Marvel going, X-Men. So X-Men has a new series, and it will change the Marvel universe again. Like they just won't stop. They just will not stop messing with this universe. What's that?
Is this a cartoon or is this a comic?
This is a comic. This is the new comic series.
Yeah, when comic there's like 1,000,005 different renditions of it. This does not surprise me.
But it's just
go ahead now. I thought you were talking about a cartoon. I was about to say, damn it.
But they do pull. I mean, they always pull from these. Like all these different universes and different comic series, they always pull from it. So there's no telling what this has that will affect the MCU. So, and especially the newer they because the MCU is going on so big, the newer comic series they tend to pull from a little closer. They're like, oh, this just happened, let's do that. So
like Miss Marvel is a relatively new character in the Marvel pantheon, and so she's about to get a show greenlit in like 2024 or something like that. They're doing a movie for it. So yeah, you're right.
I think 2024 is what they projected.
Yeah, so a lot of these newer characters, more diverse characters that they're trying to do is really they're finding that they can bring that in to get a lot more viewership.
So they haven't specified how this is going to change yet, but this is what they said is that in the first 12 issues is going to be changes, massive changes. Like they're just putting it out there, like teasing it right now. So they haven't came out with any leaks, I guess, of like what they're talking about, but they're saying it is going to change what, kind of like how DC did when they redid their comics and stuff. So
do you think this is like a new 52 esque type X-Men. Of level?
Right.
Because the last thing they did in Marvel I know about is like the House of M, when Scarlet Witch says no more mutants, and she basically took away the mutant powers from everyone who wasn't like level 5, and kind of reduced down even like, you know, Wolverine to have like slower healing abilities, and like Xavier couldn't like control the whole world with his mind. He could do basic, you know, thought reading and stuff. So do you think that this could maybe tie into how they're kind of revamping the MCU and trying to bring in
how like how they're gonna like incorporate the X-Men now that they have the X-Men? Like I'm still maybe wondering how they're gonna pull that off.
It would be interesting if, since they're doing a multiverse thing with Multiverse of Madness and Doctor Strange, what if they actually did blend in their print into the movies where things really were crossing over, where it really did. If you really wanted the full story, you had to read comics, because the stories really are going to interject with one another, instead of just, oh yeah, that's a comic and that's the comic world and I read about that, and then we know that some of those ideas get translated to film. Well, it's like, no, like the comics are coming through, like those characters directly are coming through into film and vice versa.
Kind of like how they did the TMNT. Movie back then, sure. Like they showed like
Turtles Forever.
Yeah, right. Yeah, they had like all the different, like literally every turtle movie, comic, cartoon was its own universe and its own. So like the very first ones were all black and white and they're just like dark and everything. Yeah, so that would be cool. And I want them to do it so bad. Like ever since they got the X-Men, like I'm like, I want them. When are they gonna do it? Like how are they gonna do it? Like I was always pissed whenever they brought out Scarlet Witch and like no Magneto. Like how are you gonna have them without Magneto? Like,
and then even more in WandaVision when they brought back the Quicksilver.
That was a Fox thing. We know that.
No, I know the whole backstory about like why they did it and everything, but still, like I'm a fan and I know it's not right. So, it's gonna be interesting though. Like I can't wait to see what changes they made in this one. Like the last series that they had that I pulled from. Was when I was telling y'all about the Phoenix Force that was going and Black Panther got the Phoenix power, and there's actually apparently there's one of the people that got the power is still being affected by it today, like from even though it's over with. Like there's the ones, so I haven't figured that out yet. That came across my email actually, and I hadn't clicked on it yet. I'm like, really? Who is that? so I'm gonna investigate that. I'll probably maybe talk about that next week. That way, once I can investigate it more. Moving on, still keeping with the comics aspect. This is actually kind of a manga-ish. But it's Deadpool. So the most popular manga of 2021 is actually getting an English release. is the Deadpool Samurai. It's the apparently when it came, it was a big hit overseas. So, and so now they're actually going to be releasing it in English for the English readers. So I can't wait to get my hands on that. What's up, Mingo?
How much you want to bet that Ryan Reynolds? How much you want to bet Ryan Reynolds trolls the mess out of that? That he starts to like promote it, and he starts wearing the costume with the samurai outfit, and he's just like, "Hey guys, Ryan Reynolds here. I'm just in my bed normally wearing my Deadpool costume as I normally." I bet you he's gonna do that because he is the biggest fan of Deadpool, playing Deadpool. So I can just see it. So I can't wait.
I still like the fact that before Ryan, huh?
Is this Deadpool supposed to be more serious? Like,
it's just Deadpool. Like, I haven't read the synapse for it. Like, but
when you say it's just Deadpool, there are certain qualifications that are like, there's certain aspects that have to exist.
I think the only time that like there's like a serious Deadpool was in the Ryan Reynolds pulling it off in the movie. Like, that's probably the serious I've ever seen him. Like going, like he jokes around, but in the movie, like he has those serious moments, like with his wife.
The very inception of Deadpool as a parody to Deathstroke.
Yeah.
Like from his very inception as existence is in parody. So he's always supposed to be the Joker who kind of like is winking at the reader, being like, "Yeah, we know you've seen this before, but we're going to do it a little different."
Right.
This is better. You like this?
So yeah, like I like the cover art on here too.
I'm looking at it.
Like,
I'm looking at it. Yeah.
If you look at it, if you look in the details, like of his face, like you see him all in the red, like all the different, but in the black, like you can actually see weapons. Like you actually see Wolverine's claws in there. There's his two swords. Like, I just like the cover art. That's just a lot. Like, God, whoever drew that is amazing. That's dope. But it's apparently it's gonna be spring 2022 is what the deadline is for that. This apparently is the cover of Deadpool Samurai.
It's already July.
Features a zoom in on the merc with the mouth's mask. You can see hundreds of Deadpool in the mask's background in true Deadpool form. One of his eye sockets is squinting at the reader. The story features Deadpool being transported to feudal Japan and was soon upgraded from a one-shot to a full series. So it was announced in December 2020. Deadpool Samurai became the most widely read Marvel comic in 2021. The manga by Shonen Jump Plus comes from, I'm not even gonna butcher his name, man. Like, I would not be able to say that right. Anyway, it's the first two chapters eclipsing 1 million views each. Wow.
I've heard that the mangas are really taking off, that they're leading like the comic format in terms that they're still seeing growth while comics across the board have declined in sales.
Yeah.
For some reason, the mangas are just still flying off the shelves.
Oh yeah, it's just
it's nice to see the character still comes through even in a little bit of a format tweak.
Yeah, I read mangas, I read comics, and there is a very drastic difference between mangas and comics. Like, the styling is the same, but I think it's just more the art and like the action you can get from. You can actually, like, you see that you read a manga, like you see that, and you really do see the action scenes. Like you can actually picture it being in anime. Like you can see it actually happening. Like comics don't too much do that. You know, like it's just like panel, 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 panel. You know, like it is like I'm saying this right. Manga is the same. I get that it's panel, panel, but it's just I guess all I can really say it is the art, like the how it flows. You know, like you will see a battle like if you're watching an X-Men or reading an X-Men comic, like you'll see the battle happening, just not how a manga happens. You know, like if the manga did the exact same, you would want to read the manga over the comic. I don't know. That's just how.
So you just get more content in the manga in general. You just get more frames, more information because they draw more panels.
Yeah.
So it's really condensed in a comic. A manga kind of can take its time and to do more of the story because it's a little bit bigger of a text.
Feel a little bit more immersed, you know. At least I do. Y'all got anything to say about Ray Mingo? No? Okay. Alright. You're muted, I guess.
I'm good. I'm good. I was enjoying y'all's conversation.
He's like, I will not self-incriminate.
I played the fifth.
I have no opinion on that.
None.
So, moving on. This is actually going into anime. Well, I guess it's anime manga. It's the same. Because it more than likely start off as a manga first. But Demon Slayer spin-offs. Story of Water and Flame announced. So we all know the sad truth that Demon Slayer is over, which I hate because like I feel like there's so much more that they could have told us, and the amount of just epicness that came from just the Demon Slayer series, like why would you stop the money train? You know, like. That was just blowing everything out the water. But I do like that they are semi-continuing it because they have these spin-offs. And who knows, these might actually spark it to come back. Maybe. I don't know. I mean, Bleach and Dragon Ball came back, so you never know.
I would like an origin story. Like, not necessarily of Tanjiro, but I don't know, maybe his dad. Maybe we see everything that happens, like a full movie, not necessarily a movie, but maybe a full show about everything his dad went through, or maybe the very, very, very first Demon Slayer of all time. We get to see his shenanigans and who he runs into. You know, maybe a Naruto-esque type thing where him and his buddies and stuff, and they're fighting. And then we get to see Muzan when he first got his power. You know, stuff like that. Just to kind of maybe we'll get that. I'll watch that, you know. Maybe that's another way to get the money going. Just kind of see the beginnings of it. If they don't continue with with more of it, I'll take that.
And I tend to agree with Mingo. I think it's worth exploring. Kind of referring to what you said, like you were like, you hate the end of it because there was like so much more they could have told. But sometimes I think people that write this stuff, I think they, at a certain point, they get under so much pressure to like continue to put out really, really good stuff for whatever series that is. I think they have a breaking point where they feel like if I write anything else, there's a strong possibility that this is going to suck. I think sometimes they write so much of it and they dislike it so much that they just say, okay, no, I'm not going to put this out. This is not, if I put this out, it'll ruin everything I did before, and I'll have this, it'll be tarnished. So they stop like right there, even though people are screaming for like, oh my God, you got to finish telling this. It's like, I hate to say they don't know how to finish telling it, but I guess they get into that point where it's like, I don't know. They kind of just don't. They don't know how to or where to go from that point. So they end up stopping. and you get something fresh, like you're talking about, like spinoffs. They can kind of spin, even though it's about the same universe or the same thing. It's still kind of a fresh story to start off on and branch off to, without ruining this. We've all seen a movie or something. There's just always like one too many movies, or like they'll do like two good ones and the third one.
Like a certain movie that just came out. Because we about
like
family, but I'm not gonna say anything else.
It happens, and I think sometimes people are conscious of that, and they try to avoid the situation like that particular movie you were just talking about, keep it from happening.
See, I see that. I do see that way too, but also I can also see them doing because they get bored with it, like themselves, or they get tired of doing it. Like they don't want to do. They want to branch out. Like they have other ideas, other creations that they want to work on, but they're stuck doing this one. Like yeah, this one's good.
Like this one company that used to make one of the most popular games on the face of the planet, and they were told no, and then they went and made another popular game because people wouldn't listen. It starts with a B, ends with an E. Just leave it there like that. Just saying.
I think we all know.
Yes, we are aware.
So, Demon Slayer. So, y'all, is just breaking news here, y'all. This is coming from JapanTimes.co.jp, and it says this was released 3 hours ago. The Demon Slayer animation studio and president indicted for tax evasion. So apparently, the Japanese animation studio, known for producing Demon Slayer anime series, as president, were indicted by Tokyo prosecutors Friday for evading a total 137 million in corporate and consumption taxes. So the article goes on to talk about all the kinds of trouble they're in, but that looks like big money, and so I don't know if the Demon Slayer plans and the expansion of that universe, they might have to be starting to sell some assets.
Damn.
to cover costs. So, but that was for the anime. Is this you said this was a manga again, or is this the anime?
Yeah, it's a manga story.
Well, maybe print survived.
Yeah.
Because the studio seems like it's going down in a ball of flames. But hopefully Walker can come help and sort that out.
Yeah. It reminds me of it's another series. It's called No Game No Life. I thought it was amazing. It only had one anime, and manga only I think went. I'm not even sure how long the manga went, but I know that they stopped doing the anime because the guy or the animation studio ended up copying another animation studios like the faces and everything, and that's why No Game No Light was like amazing.
Mm-hmm.
They filed for a suit, and then after that they didn't have a second or third season, and everybody was waiting on it, and it was great. It was great. It was just about a brother and sister gamer who they're so good they didn't even have to try. So when they got thrown into a world that was technically all about games, they were able to pretty much take over the world and win everything because they were just that good at video games, any type of game they could just win it. But it is what it is.
Whenever that happened, I know I talked about that on one.
Yeah, I think we did talk about that before, but yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember when.
It is what it is.
That was a while back though.
Yeah, but also going back to what we were talking about. Just look at the dude from Game of Thrones, George R.R. Martin. I think sometimes they get writer's block and they don't know what to do, and then you get pressures from different people saying, "Hey, can you finish it? Can you do this?" And they're like, maybe not. What you think?" And so I think it goes back to what Hammer was saying. It's just one of those, like maybe and what you were saying with Snake, which is they might get bored. They could have another idea. They could want to finish it. They could get writer's block. And then sometimes I think that's just what the ending was. He probably only meant to make however many he made for the manga. I'm not sure how long, but 2 books or how many chapters it is. And then he didn't expect it to blow up as it did. Some people don't expect for it to go as, as a Naruto or as a Gintama or Dragon Ball, but but that's probably why he's doing a spinoff, because he's probably like, oh, so I made how much? $4 billion? Huh? I don't have anything else to write. Let's do a spinoff. Yeah, let's do that. So could be.
Well, speaking of board and blocks and stuff, like the next thing we're talking about, the Rising of the Shield Hero Season 2, which I've been bored waiting on this, has been blocked. It will not be rising in the year 2021. They have pushed it back to April 2022. Like, you, dang it! Like, I've been waiting on this. Like, they were supposed to be out this month. I think it was August. At first it was August, and they freaking pushed it back. I was like getting excited because I won't have to wait too much longer. And so yeah, I don't. No, it was October, apparently. It was supposed to be October 2021. Yeah, so they've been delayed. They didn't have a specific reason for the delay. Instead, they're just pushing it back for different factors. Blah. So if anybody hasn't watched the Rising of the Shield Hero, this is an amazing anime. Daniel, have you been able to see it? Have you watched it?
No.
Yeah.
Can I tell you a secret truth? I don't think I've ever seen any anime.
Really?
No. Like, maybe Afro Samurai, maybe. Or like an episode of Pokemon.
Hey,
if you count that. But
if you mention any anime, if you had a gun to your head and you say Afro Samurai, they would let you go, because they're like, you know,
because Afro Samurai
you
is
are
dope.
cool. At least
really, the game is what got me into Afro Samurai. I was like, man, this game is awesome, and I want to see what the show is about off of that.
I've been like, I bounce around to animes all the time, like, and one thing that I like Sword Art Online type of animes, like I like immersed worlds, like where you kind of like you either die and get reincarnated into another world, or you get into a video game world. Like, there's all these different types of worlds and animes. There's quite a bit of them out there, and I ran across the Rise of the Shield Hero, and that's the basis of this, is that these four heroes get pretty much summoned to this world from their world. And their world is just like the regular world, like ours. And well, whenever they get into this, they each have a role. There's like a sword, shield, a spear, and I think the other one's a bow, I think. But each one, they have their own powers. Like, and it's literally, like, to them, it shows up like a video game, like a virtual reality video game for them. But everything else in that world is like real life to them. So, like, his shield, like, he's able to like absorb like different materials and stuff like that into his shield, and in order to make different shields, and like he gets ostracized and like
Mega Man
betrayed.
It's like, I got you.
Yeah,
shield.
Yeah, like, it's Rising of the Shield Hero is freaking amazing. Like, I love any anime that is like a immersive, like, video game world, or like they wake up and they get powers and stuff like that. So, like, I don't know, I'm just a nerd junkie, anime junkie.
Well, this is a place for it. Nerdy with me,
it's
right?
Nerdmation. It's the Nerdmation Nation. But like, if you haven't watched it, I do recommend it, because it is amazing. So, while I was looking around, I came across some movies that were supposed to be coming out in movies pretty soon. It's the most anticipated movies 2021 2021, 2022, and I came across the League of Super Pets. And I'm excited about this just off the characters that are supposed to be the actors in it. Like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is supposed to be Crypto. Kevin Hart's gonna be Ace. I don't know who Keanu Reeves is gonna play, but I don't care. Keanu Reeves is in this movie. I'm watching it. So, like just the lineup of people, like it's like I want to see this.
I was very meh about it until he said Keanu Reeves was in it. He told me earlier. I was like, okay, I have to watch this because Keanu Reeves is the man. It's not a shot at The Rock. It's not a shot at The Rock because I like The Rock, but I mean,
if you took a shot at him, if you took a shot at him, would it be?
Please don't come punch me in the face if you ever see this. It's not a shot at you.
If you took a shot at him, would it be paper or scissors?
Stupid.
Oh my God.
Stupid.
That was one right off the dome. That was my own.
That's two in one show. He's not only back, he's doing the most. I saw it and I was like, oh, one time I was like, no, it's cartoon. I'm wait, he'll talk about it. But what interests me is the fact that it's doing something different. It's about pets of all, I'm assuming all the DC superheroes, which you've seen them in comics and you've seen them on cartoons, but they've never had their own dedicated show. I think they tried to give Superman a show with the dog a long time ago, but they've never had a dedicated show like The Life of Pets or what's that other Disney movie came out with the Zootopia. Never had anything like that with the superheroes. So that's what interests me. It's like I'm wondering how it works.
With Underdog, it's probably the only thing I can think of that came out.
That's what I think. I'm wondering if the reason that they're finally doing this Super Pets one is because of like the Secret Lives of Pets and stuff like that. Like even when I was going across like this trailer that they had, like wasn't really, they didn't tell anything. It was like 15 seconds, like at that, like
we paid these actors, they're gonna do voiceovers, and we got actors doing DC stuff. Like just saying the project is launched, basically. Right, but does it, just to go counter on this, does it bother anyone else that Dwayne Johnson is both Black Adam in one part of DC, and now he's going to be playing a different DC character, even in the Super Pets thing?
I don't care.
Well, but
like, man, I want him to own that. He's only Black Adam. Don't be just picking up characters along the way. Oh, well, I guess Wonder Woman was by The Rock today.
Well, at least it's not live action.
No live action.
No, I'm just saying.
Here we go. Nope. Here we go. He's going on a rant. Here we go.
No, I'm not, sir. If I want to go on a rant, I'll go on a rant. You're gonna like it. But no, I'm just saying, like I'm just saying, like as far as doing the from what Daniel was talking about with like owning the character, like sticking with that character, like he's doing Black Adam, and that's his live action character, like. So any voice actors acting characters or movies, I'm not too worried about because you don't see them. You just see there's this voice. You know what I'm saying? So it's like all the Batman, like all the animated Batmans that they have. Like they have so many voice acting Batmans. Like Kevin Conroy is always the best, but like the Lego Batman. There's different, but there's only so many live action Batman that people like. That's Batman, So that's why I'm saying that as far as voice acting, I'm not. I just want to see what the show what it's going to be consistent of. So, but I am excited about this line.
Speaking of Batman, if you guys haven't watched it, Long Haul, I haven't watched yet. It looks pretty good. It sounds like they got some old voice actors in there from like the old Batman anime series. It sounds like they got the old guy who played Two-Face. It sounds like him. I'm not sure if it's him. And then I know Troy Baker is doing his rendition because Mark Hamill pretty much kind of unofficially dubbed him as like his successor, kind of, sort of. So Troy Baker's doing his Joker, which is pretty good. And Jensen Ackles from Supernatural. Supernatural. He's doing Batman, and it's not that bad. I think his Batman is better than his Bruce Wayne. I don't like his Bruce Wayne. It's a Batman: The Long Halloween. I just been looking at clips of it and catching the trailer or whatever. It looks pretty good. And like I said, it sounds like they got some of the old voice actors from the show, from the old show or whatever. But it looks pretty good. I haven't seen it. I was wondering if anybody's seen it, but if not, when you said Batman and voice acting, and just reminded me of the Batman Long Halloween, which I want to watch because apparently that's the first case that Batman could not solve. I don't know if there's any more he could not solve. I know that's the one he did not solve. That's like his first case, the first actual case that he tried to solve and failed. And like that's so. There you go. So I was like, oh, I'm interested now.
I haven't heard that aspect of it.
Well, yeah, it's a thing. Yeah, he did not solve this case. He did not. Because it's about the Long Halloween killer that was going around killing all the mob bosses or whatever, and he was trying to figure out who it was. Was it Falcone? Was it the Joker? Was it Harvey Dent himself? Who was it? And he did not solve it. At the end, the killer reveals himself, but Batman didn't do it. The killer just did it on his own. So it was like Batman did not solve. That's what they're saying. I can't remember. I stopped watching it when the person was about to reveal who the killers was. I was like, no, stopped it. But because I want to watch it. But that's the premise of it. It's a comic and a cartoon apparently. So, but yeah, it looks good. So,
I'm intrigued. I'm not that big of a Batman fan, and I'm intrigued.
All I could hear was Hammer the whole time.
Because there were some things he said. I'm like, huh.
No,
this is worth checking out.
Yeah,
like you know how
I just haven't heard that. I
understand.
I knew.
Now
I just didn't hear
curious
about the not being able to solve it part. Like, so I'm gonna have to look back at that now.
But if the truth comes to light, it is very much a Batman move to be like, oh, all right, I'll just let it ride. I don't need to be the thing. I just let y'all. Okay, I know how this is. So I got other things to do. This is gonna wrap itself up. I'm out.
You know what? That would play.
What you don't know is that Batman did solve it. He just didn't present his
right.
evidence.
He's like,
he had the evidence. He's like, the other guy just said it first. He's like,
all these things why I'm not that big.
It's like Clue.
Batman is
so. Hammer, who is your favorite DC character? Because I don't think we ever saw. We know like Snake, like Superman or whatever, and I'm occasional to a Batman. I think I'm more of a Flash. I think I like Flash the most, really. But who's yours? I don't think you ever said it. I just know you don't like Batman.
I don't necessarily have a favorite. I just I like Martian Manhunter. I really do.
Wait, you say Aqualad?
I don't. Shut up. He would say Aqualad. Anyway, like I said, it's one of the things I don't like about Batman. Batman is written way too OP. I'm sorry. I get it, but then it's just irritating. It just makes him not at the top of my list.
On one end of the spectrum, there's Superman written OP, and on the other end of the spectrum, there's Batman written OP in their own specific, different ways, per se. On one end of the spectrum,
Batman, there's a certain level of respect I have for Batman. It's just, we're going to talk about this, and you just asked me this question, and we're going to talk about it now.
Sorry.
Look, I get that he's human, so you gotta there's certain things you have to do to make him in a world full of creatures and people with powers and shit. You gotta figure out, some things to make him at least on the level or close. But sometimes Batman is written way out, just way, way too OP. the fact that I understand why he kept certain shit to be able to keep Superman in check. It makes sense. Fucking Kryptonian, he could basically destroy the planet at any point in time. You kind of need to have something for that. Cool. But why? Why does he have a deterrent for everybody? That is bullshit. I'm sorry. That is complete bullshit.
Hold on. How is it?
He told me
I know the movie you're talking about. I've seen that cartoon. I've seen it. I know.
Martian Manhunter that he can take him out with a penny and a book of matches.
Yes.
Excuse me?
Yeah.
Like, stop it. No.
How is that a no?
That's too much.
How is it too much if just knowing like your enemies? Like
nobody should just be able to eliminate everybody.
He even has one.
Nobody should just be able to eliminate everybody.
The only thing he's got is like he's got a butler that can do his scheduling and time management. That's what his real superpower is. He's just dedicated.
Too much.
He doesn't sit around doing podcasts on the internet.
It's not. How is he OP?
How is he OP? It is too much. He should not have a deterrent for everybody.
Okay. So you mean
just so because
you're trying to say his plan level?
Because he can plan. Because he actually takes the time and plans. Like,
first of all, this is a fictional character, so he was written like that. The people that wrote this, that is just way too much. There's no need.
We're talking about everything we're talking about. Everything we're talking about and everything that
I don't know.
We all talk about is written to be by somebody else. So
okay,
this is what we're talking about.
Written.
We're talking about what other people written about.
It is unnecessary.
What you're talking about?
I need Batman to one time say, "I don't know."
A fictional character with untold resources, and we live in an age where like there is a literal billionaire space race going on. People with too much damn money will do things with ungodly amounts of planning necessary because they got shit else to do.
This is a fact.
He has a problem like, I'm sad and I want to hurt myself and everyone else and whatever because my daddy and mama are gone. So now I got a shit ton of money and the only person who raised me is like an ex military Navy SEAL badass guy, Alfred. He's like, I don't know, go hit something. Here's a heavy bag. Work out your shit, kid. Yeah. And so then he grows up with that. And then he's like, I'm just going.
I love the origin story. I love it. I love it. It's perfect.
And so
he's like, you gotta think.
There's just reasons I don't.
You gotta think like he is he's a billionaire person. Like he has the money, resources, and time to do stuff like this. Like, and also he's human in a world full of Supermen and magic and things like that.
I know.
Like,
if
you set back, you had like
he's a human.
No,
but
think about the person, Ray. Think about his Batman. Like he is the master. He's a master detective, right? So that's the first thing. That's one of his first things, and he's dealing with all these wackos in Gotham. Then he finds out about all these other people around the world, like Superman and Wonder Woman, like all of them. Of course, he's gonna plan it out. Like he's dealing with has to deal with the Joker and all them on a daily basis. He has to be prepared for certain things. So I can see the thought process of him, like especially, and he didn't come up with those until he started working with them. And he's like his description of why he did it was the best part too, because he said if y'all ever went rogue, somebody has to be able to take y'all out. Like it's this precaution.
He played a copy of Injustice and was like, oh, that's a good idea. That could happen. Yeah. So he was like, you know what, let me go ahead.
Right?
He played.
Listen, it's like Superman, like I said, Superman, I understood having listen, when you talk about somebody that powerful, it makes total sense. You gotta have something. This dude, like, essentially is more powerful than anything on the planet. If like you said, you saw Injustice, you saw what happened there. All it took was for Lois to get fucked up, and everything was screwed. I get that. I understand a deterrent for Superman. I understand even maybe a couple more deterrents he has, but a deterrent for everybody.
Yeah. He had one
Well,
from
the way
it was really his
to say
closest
one time
friend.
I don't.
It was really the closest 7 coworkers he had, though.
Well, actually, no, it's more than 7.
So, how many was it? It was just the main Justice League. I thought that he took down,
everybody.
Like Green Lantern.
Well, in that movie,
I just needed to say one time. I don't know.
In the movie it was.
Yeah, but and that's just what they had over them. They only covered them, but Brother Eye, the system that he had documentation on every hero and villain. Like he didn't. It wasn't just the heroes. Like he had documentations on every known and villain and hero.
Well, let's flip it from to Marvel. You saw what Hydra was trying to do with the Triskelion and all the stuff they had with the Shield databases, and they had, on the monitor you see like Stephen Strange pre becoming Doctor Strange, becoming like the Sorcerer Supreme. Like he was targeted as someone. So like they've seen in comics where these AIs, these data gathering, and we see it in present day of how Facebook and Amazon knows way more about us than we ever should. These companies know about it, and they're able to target advertising and influence our decisions and our purchasing and stuff. So this is happening to us in reality. And so the construct that this person who has the vast sum wealth of Wayne Enterprises, of Wayne Tech, and also is the kind of person who's not afraid to like break your arm to get you to tell him what he wants you to know. So he is like not just a all around good guy. Mm-hmm. He'll do the necessary evil that he thinks he's the moral judge of to manipulate it. So that he would that this AI, again, a billionaire with time on his hands and shown a keen intellect, can develop some software, gather data, pool it, and then run like heuristics against like models of like what potential outcomes could happen. And he has like computing power. This is like kind of within like the sci-fi realm, but we're seeing pieces come to fruition in our real everyday world. But it's just not a guy with a cape and a cowl.
Like, all I'm saying is like the OP part. Like, he's not really OP because if he was OP, that information would have never got out anyway.
Yeah, but I was gonna say that. I was gonna say that that's why I said the Superman on one spectrum and Batman on one spectrum, because he is. I will agree to you on some. I will grant you that and say that he is written OP. But every person, every superhero that's written OP has like a real, like, dangerous flaw. Batman's flaw is the fact that because he plans so much and because he feels like he has to, sometimes he can't trust people so much to where his products end up in the wrong hands. To where he ends up getting his closest people. Barbara, Catwoman, Tim, and how the Joker did with some of them, and getting them all killed and whatnot, and so forth and so on, to where sometimes he's the reason that causes all that because of his Achilles heel. So the most OP has an Achilles heel, and that's Batman. So yeah, I will grant you that and say he is written OP, because sometimes his prep time is just ridiculous. It's like Darkseid to come, and no one saw Darkseid coming. There should be no reason for anyone to understand all this and everything, no visions, no anything. But Batman, then all of a sudden, Darkseid kills everyone. Darkseid kills Batman, but some little kid finds a letter that says reset. He goes, takes it to Dr. Fate, and Dr. Fate takes it. It resets, and then Batman is like, and then they're like, how did that happen? Batman was like, well, I had this thing. I'm just saying that's technically how Batman does sometimes. Sometimes he is written to where it's like bullshit. But it's like I will say that sometimes it's like, ain't no way. They just did that for a plot. I will give you that sometimes. But and they say because he's a human, because he had this overly AI and plan that that's why it happened. They'll give reasons for it later, but it's like, y'all did no way. You just made that up for the plot. But even so, his Achilles heel comes in because Joker and others, even Luthor, who was taking down Superman, has taken down Batman a couple times. So I will,
Yeah,
Luthor
that's
has.
what I'm talking about.
Just saying.
The OPness, like we've seen Batman lose multiple times. So
The point is that Batman is like down like 7 or 8 on my list. I just.
But I get you, because it's kind of like, as a human, you're looking at it like, bro, I plan every day, and there's no way I could have done that.
Jealousy.
Like, I'm thinking it out. I am reading. I'm trying to be like, shut up. I'm trying to be like Albert Einstein, and Albert Einstein couldn't. It's kind of, you're looking at it like, there's no way. No. Tony Stark couldn't even done that. You're lying. No, Batman. No, ain't no way you single-handedly took down everyone by yourself. Tony Stark could have done it, and he's smarter than you. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe he isn't. I don't know. Is he?
I think one of the differentiators with like you see that characters are often written as like a paragon of an ideal. So like Barry Allen is hope, right? Everything beyond else, he'll just have hope that he can make a change or do something. And in the same way, I think that Batman, the details, they're written however they need to be to make it work. But at the same time, it's really to highlight ultimately indomitable spirit, despite anything that crushes you. That even as a simple man, that if your will doesn't break, that you can affect change. You can be a difference.
You can, Ray. You can do that, Hammer. You can affect change.
And that's what. But that's also like, I've always wondered why he didn't get the Green Lantern ring, because willpower is like all his thing.
Well, he did.
Now I know he got the fear ring because he actually creates the most fear in criminals than anyone else in like this sector of the galaxy. Like, so Batman actually embodies fear.
Well, because the Black Lantern ring that he got. He was the first wielder of the Black Lantern ring.
Oh yeah, he was. Okay.
But he did have the Green Lantern ring. But
he did have green. I just saw the yellow one.
Yeah, he had the he wielded the I know Superman actually wielded the blue ring once.
Oh really?
Yeah. Batman, he's done the green. He's done.
I'm sorry. I didn't.
Exactly.
He's done the green. He's done. Well, you also got to think about
that one is OP. That is OP. Superman with a ring. You might as well.
Mingo.
Don't even fight him. I'm not gonna fight him.
All he would do is like,
gonna fight Superman.
He would just be like, I hope I get to see my mom and dad.
Well, just
true.
Just stop it. Like
he would. I'm just go back to the farm. I'm just gonna reset everything. That's what he would use his ring for.
If it he had the blue ring, but like when he was using it, it was like whenever like he was in space or something like that, away from the super like his energy sources and stuff like that. It was something it was some mission that he had to go. They went on and he was away from
yellow signs and stuff like that. Gotcha.
So he was weakened, I guess you would say. But anyway, I'm trying to think of all the different rings that Batman has had. But I know he did have the green one. He would helped out Hal Jordan, which that was actually a pretty cool suit that he had too. But yeah, as far as what you're saying is like why he didn't have that one, like you're meaning basically like why the ring didn't choose him,
right? Yeah, I mean if the ring chooses based off of your ability to not have your will broken, you can break the bat's back, you can't break his will.
Because if you put Hal Jordan and Bruce side by side while the ring was running around looking for somebody, like who would you think that they would choose? I would actually counter that and think that Hal Jordan would have been the better pick between the two, mainly because of the situations of their backstories, I guess you would say, because Bruce was so broken from over his he's got that brokenness between his parents and stuff. I feel like that played a factor with the ring choices.
Okay.
But that's just my thought process on it. What do y'all think?
Yeah, I like it.
Didn't like something like how Jordan, one way he kept like his mind during like imprisonment was to imagine himself rebuilding the whole prison brick by brick mentally, and so that kind of was like part of his beginning of like using construct powers, because he already was doing that just to keep his own sanity in prison. I remember that was like a storyline that I read up on one time. And so that, I guess, kind of that prisoner of war mentality of like, you know, Batman's always had an outlet and never had to grind on like, no, I will hold my stuff together. But when you're locked up, you got no options but to confront yourself internally.
Plus that sweet cash.
Well,
Bruce had a couple fun nights. Come on. You know he did. So.
Anyway, that is actually all I had for this episode. Now, I know this episode ran quite a long time, but because we were all in it. Yeah.
Yeah, I did it. You didn't do it. Yeah, well, I did it before you. It's not fair. It's weird.
I was muted, but it was the right time. It was the right time.
Mingo ran.
Mingo.
He ran for the button. Yeah, I'm surprised his phone was still able to stay
totally
up.
Right time. You did a good job, sir.
I'm surprised like the phone didn't just go flying back. But again, thank y'all for coming out, hanging out with us, getting nerdy. Thank you, Daniel, for coming out, hanging out with us, showing. Yeah, anytime, man. Like I said,
anytime.
This is what we want. We want people to come in and talk with us, and like sit through the show with us. Because I like hearing other people's aspects and what they think and what they know. Like, there's a lot of stuff I don't know, and I want to know. This is the Nerdmation Nation. This is where you find that out. So, but
exactly.
That's actually gonna be it for today. So remember to follow us on YouTube, like, subscribe, hit that bell icon. That way you'll know when we're going live and when we post content. We are on Facebook, so you can go check us out on there too. We stream Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays.
Make sure you share.
So typically around 9 o'clock. Every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, you'll find us. So, until next time, stay nerdy. I can't find